Good afternoon. This is Tuesday, October 18th in rainy, cold, windy Traverse City, as you can see in the background. I want to go over our school board candidates today for our Traverse City area public schools. I think it's really important, and it seems like people are starting to pay more attention to school board candidates in their community. And the League of Women Voters hosted a candidate forum last week at the library, and I went to it. I took some notes, and I was able to see firsthand some of our candidates. So I thought I would go over them with you, but before I do that, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. I'm trying to do at least a video a week, and maybe a couple. Everything's going at warp speed now until the midterms, which are November 8th. And there's just so much happening and so much going on. But let me get right to our candidates for TCAPS School Board. So we have Holly T. Bird, Miston Boysen, Andrew Hanley, Erica Moon Moore, Beth Pack, Andrew Raymond, Nicholas Roster, and Justin Van Reenen, I believe. Forgive me if I pronounced your name incorrectly. I'm going to tell you right off the bat who I'm supporting. I'm supporting Miston Boysen because she is level-headed. She has kids in the system. She's well thought out. She has a good background, and I think she would be a great addition to our school board and think sensibly about what we impose or don't impose on our children. Mask, vaccines, and of course, then the curriculum. Then there's Matthew Hanley. I don't know a lot about him, but I think he's worth giving a chance to. He answered the math question, and I'm sorry, yes, I did base some of my opinions on that mask question, because to me that's huge. That's child abuse, masking our kids, and it's not science. Science proved, if anything, the masks were ridiculous, didn't work, and if you had any sense about you, you would know that, and you would know that now. And if you don't, I'm sorry that you are not believing the pack of lies that you were fed. Anyway, so I think he seems pretty sensible. He said, because the question was basically if they would they mask our kids again? It wasn't posed exactly like that, but I'm just giving the quick synopsis of that. And he said he would want people to get their doctor's opinion, their health professional's opinion on that. So I'll kind of give him a pass on that. And I think he'd be open to other suggestions and actually listening to us parents when we come in there to speak, that we don't want our kids masked ever again. Then the next one is Beth Pack, and she's got a great background. She was a surgical cardiac nurse, and her questions they were so well thought out. She's very articulate, thought-provoking. And if she didn't understand something or know about something, she was honest about it, and said she would want to research that more, get more information on that before she answered that question. So I really appreciated that. Andrew Raymond, he's an incumbent. I'm throwing my support behind him as well, because he seemed sensible in the meetings last year, although I didn't agree with him on things. I didn't like the way he voted on some things. But compared to the other candidates, I would like to give him another try. Because like I said, I think that, I know he's a parent and he wants to do the right thing. So with the right people on the school board, we can definitely get them to listen to us parents more, other than them just ignoring us like they did for the last 2 years. So I think we need to, parents, we really need to be involved in this and not just blow this off. The school board, the TCAPS school board members, obviously make a big impact in our community and in our school and what happens with our children's education, as well as their well-being. And the closing of the school had a total impact on not only our children's well-being, but also their academic growth. And we see that it really did not help our children at all. I know some children really were suffering depression throughout the whole thing, and then sending them to school with mask on, that was total child abuse. Child abuse. And that can't ever happen again. So we need people that will stand up to that. And when that question was asked, some of the other candidates right, it was, oh yeah, I believe it. It's science and mask work. Well, it's not. If you look at real, true science, and I'm not going to argue it, I don't need to. Those of you that will watch this will probably agree with me. And if you don't, well, move along, because this isn't for you then. But it's truth. It's truth. Oxygen helps fight so many viruses, diseases in our bodies, because we need oxygen. It's one of our key elements for living, right? When we're born, they don't put a mask on our face. We need to take that first breath of air. If we don't breathe air, we don't live. So just logic right there, I'll tell you. Don't block our breathing, our precious air that we breathe. Plus, look at the beautiful trees behind me. They need our CO2, right? And they produce great oxygen for us. Excuse me. So all these environmentalists, you should be speaking about that. Not a bunch of hogwash. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the environment situation, but those are the candidates I support. Please, there are some alarming people running for the school board. Excuse me. And as I say this, let's put a target on my child's back. So I'm praying the blood of Jesus covering my child on this, because I don't like the ties that Holly T. Bird has, and you should all do your research and look into her. She's part of the 3 E's. She's also a co-director of Title Track, which is a company down in Detroit. And I'm going to go over this real quick. But she's their representative here in Traverse City. She's also a judge, and she's also a part of 3 E's. Well, in case you don't know, 3 E's is Black Lives Matter. They're just calling it a different name because Black Lives Matter got a negative connotation. Even though we still see those signs around town. Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter, right? Every child's life matters in our schools. Every single one. And I don't like that where they call that they are for equity, inclusion, diversity, when it really, behind the scenes, it's all about division, not equality. If you're deemed what they're saying is the problem, which in our case, it's white people. We all know that, so I'm just calling it out there. So someone that radical, with that radical of a background, no, they cannot be on our board at all with our children. But her background, but she's very well spoken, and her experience seems amazing, how she's worked with children. I think even like as a social worker, she said, and has worked with many kids. Sounds good, but what she's tied to, which are radical organizations, nonprofit, is a red flag to me. So watch on that and do your little research. I'm doing it right now. Scary. Erica Moon Moore, she kept voting to mask our kids. Please, we cannot put her back on. She also had a lot to do with the superintendent that was hired and resigned immediately, but kept her pay because she resigned. We had to continue that contract and pay her out. So that was more money spent on that. And then they hired the new superintendent, Van Wagner. So, and then just the way she interacted with some of her school board members was over emotional, reactive, not in a professional manner. And the way she tried to call up a last minute board meeting during the holidays last year as they voted to unmask our kids at the new year, she tried to call up a last minute one to remask them. And it caused some strife on that board because they were not happy with her, and she was out of line on that. And then she was reactive to how they were reacting to her. I had that on video. It was pretty funny. But we don't need someone like that. And then plus voting for CRT, critical race theory, SEL, social emotional learning. Those are agendas. Those are agendas. We need like a classical education where they teach writing, arithmetic, English, the classical education, the true founding of this country and what we're founded on. So we need to get back to that, not this, like I said, this agenda that indoctrinates our children into the wrong history, the wrong way of thinking, and actually separates kids. Because kids automatically, when they're kids, they just want to, have friends and meet friends. And they're not out judging their friends unless their parents are teaching that in the home. And so obviously that'll be evident if parents are teaching that in their home. But I know my daughter would make friends with everyone. So anyway, I just wanted to say those are two we definitely don't want on our school board. And then I think I went to Nicholas Roster. I was pretty hopeful about him. And then when they brought up the math question right away, he said it's the science, they work, and he's totally for it. No, that's not the science, not true science for sure. And let's see, Justin Van Reenen, he blamed the health department for them not being able to mask the kids or standing up, which they were all trying to blame our county commissioners who did a phenomenal job. And then he's the one, I believe, that started the transparency Facebook page, TC Transparency Facebook page. And that was all in all to create the coup against Sue Kelly to take her out, as she used to be the TCAPS School Board President. So that's my quick recap and synopsis of the school board candidates. Again, remember, Miston Boysen, Beth Pack, Matthew Hanley, and Andrew Raymond for the 4 school board members. And parents, you need to start showing up to these meetings, because quick information on Facebook, if you're not a part of this group, you should be. Let Them Play Michigan. This woman that started this is outstanding. The research she's done. So the NEA is getting these lanyards out to their teachers, and it says, show your student you're a safe person, for the Rainbow group. And go to their website. It says Queering Sex Ed. That right away should tell you something. But what is on this website in these cue cards of teaching kids about sex is absolutely disgusting. It is pornographic. Absolutely pornographic. It's dangerous for the kids, even though they're saying wash this or get consent or whatever. It is flat out dangerous. They're putting those words in there, but if you're really into safety for kids, you aren't even going to put this. This is disgusting. You wouldn't even put this on there. You wouldn't want kids even looking at this. There's stuff kids should not even be knowing about. Fisting, Really? How healthy is that for your anatomy? I'm not going to take it any further than that. But look out for what they're putting in our schools, in our school libraries, in our public libraries. And this woman has done her research. She's outstanding. So like I said, if you can join her group, she goes over worst of the worst books. And she has a group of women helping her read through and look through those. So thank God. We each have our gifts and talents. And thank God for her because she's doing a phenomenal job with us. So anyways, this is a really important part for November 8th. Our TCAPS School Board members. Again, do not get the radical ones on there. And I'm sorry, Holly T. Bird, with her background and what she's involved in right now, to me is radical, a radical background. So, but she's very well spoken, and that can fool people sometimes. So watch it. Moonmore, you can see her little emotional tantrums. So that should be pretty apparent. But like I said, we want those 4. Again, Miston Boyson, Beth Pack, Matthew Hanley, and Andrew Raymond. And none of them know that I am putting out support for them. So don't go to them. They didn't ask for it. I put it out to help educate my friends and family. And again, this is my opinion. No one's paying me. No candidate's paying me. They don't even know I'm doing this. So I thank you for your time today. Stay warm. Keep up the fight for freedom, to save our country, to save our community, to save our state. Go out and be the light. Have a great day. Show your smile.